The condom is medical-grade latex, purchased from a pharmacy in the Diamond District of Antwerp by a man who gave you a burner phone and a plane ticket and a smile that never reached his pupils. It's 4 a.m. in a budget hotel bathroom near the airport, the fluorescent light buzzing like an electric insect, the sink stained with rust and someone else's shaved stubble. You are 24 years old, $27,000 in debt to a gambling operation run out of a baklava shop in Rotterdam, and you are about to swallow 60 diamonds. The stones are uncut, dull gray pebbles that look like frozen spit, each one wrapped in a tiny layer of cotton and sealed inside the condom with a knot so tight your fingers ache. You hold the package in your palm. It's heavier than it looks. You fill a glass with lukewarm tap water, tilt your head back, and swallow. The first one goes down like a stone, a lump you can feel traveling down your esophagus centimeter by centimeter. The second one triggers your gag reflex, and you vomit into the sink, the condom sliding out intact, glistening. You wash it off, you swallow it again. It takes 40 minutes to get all 60 down. When it's done, your throat is raw, your stomach is a heavy, shifting weight, and you can feel the cargo settling in your intestines like a bag of marbles. You board the flight to Dubai at 7 a.m. You cannot eat, you cannot drink. If one of those condoms ruptures, the diamonds will tear through your digestive tract, and you will die of internal bleeding somewhere over the Caspian Sea, and they will find your body in a Dubai morgue with a gut full of rocks and no passport. The payout is $5,000. You have never been more terrified in your life. This is Level 1, the Mule. You are a courier, a mule, the lowest and most expendable link in a global smuggling chain that moves billions of dollars in contraband every year. Your handler is a man named Karim, a Syrian-Egyptian middleman who operates out of a jewelry exchange in Antwerp's Diamond Quarter, a 3-block labyrinth of Hasidic dealers, armed security, and surveillance cameras so dense the entire district is basically a film set. Karim wears Brioni suits and speaks 6 languages and has a smile that makes you feel like the most important person in the room until you realize the smile is a weapon. He recruited you 6 months ago at a poker game in a basement in Rotterdam, where you lost 8,000 you didn't have and then lost another euro 19,000 trying to win it back. Now you owe him your life, which he has decided is worth exactly the weight of your digestive capacity. The mule's life is a study in paranoia. You fly 3 times a month, Antwerp to Dubai, Dubai to Hong Kong back to Amsterdam. You never carry more than 150 carats. You never use the same passport twice, though the passports all have your face and different names. Karim's document guy is a Lithuanian who used to forge EU residency permits and now charges $3,000 a pop. You dress like a tourist, a student, a businessman. You practice your cover story in the airplane bathroom mirror. You learn to control your breathing when the customs officer waves you into the secondary screening line. That only happens once. You talk your way through, your smile calm, your voice steady, your intestines a ticking time bomb. The physical toll is immediate. You've lost 14 pounds. Your stomach lining is inflamed from the repeated trauma of swallowing and passing foreign objects. You've developed a dependence on laxatives and anti-diarrheals, a pharmaceutical seesaw that keeps your bowels functional enough to deliver the goods. You've stopped telling your friends where you go. You've stopped having friends. The 5,000 payouts are paying down the debt, slowly, but the interest Karim charges means you're actually getting deeper. You are not a smuggler. You are a hostage with frequent flyer miles. Level 2, the spotter. After 18 months and 47 successful runs, you've proven you won't die or talk. Karim promotes you. You're no longer swallowing product. You're managing the people who do. Your new title is spotter. You recruit mules, train them, and accompany them on runs to make sure they don't panic or steal or get caught. The pay jumps to 12,000 a month, plus a percentage of each successful delivery. You now owe Karim nothing. The debt, impossibly, is paid. You recruit from the same places Karim recruited you. The gambling dens, the addiction clinics, the debtors' prisons of Western Europe. You look for people with no other options. People who are desperate but not stupid. People who can follow instructions and keep their mouths shut. You learn to read a potential mule in 10 minutes. The eye contact, the tremor in the hands, the way they flinch when you mention the word swallow. You have a 70% success rate with your recruits. The other 30% either back out or get pinched or, in one memorable case, try to steal the diamonds by claiming a flight delay and then disappearing into a Paris suburb. You tracked him down. Karim's security team handled the rest. You don't ask what handled means. You've upgraded your life. A modest apartment in Antwerp's Zurenborg neighborhood, Art Nouveau architecture and tree-lined streets, the rent paid in cash. A girlfriend, a Belgian graphic designer named Marie, who thinks you work in logistics consulting. You almost believe it yourself some days. You own a closet of expensive suits now, because Kareem insists that his people look like money, and money doesn't wear polyester. You've learned the language of the trade. Loose stones are uncut diamonds, finished goods are jewelry, wet goods are anything organic, and hard cargo is the catch-all for the items you haven't been cleared to handle yet. The items you're curious about, the items you shouldn't be curious about. Level 3, the broker. Kareem retires or disappears. The distinction is unclear and you know better than to ask. His network fragments and you claim a piece of it. You've built relationships with the dealers in Antwerp, the buyers in Dubai and Hong Kong, the document forgers and the money launderers and the fixers, who can make a customs inspector look the other way for the length of a handshake. You are now a broker, a freelancer who connects suppliers with buyers and takes a 15% cut of every deal. The work is cerebral, logistical, bloodless. You never touch the product. You never see the mules. You are on paper a legitimate diamond trader with a registered company in Belgium and a tax ID and an accountant who doesn't ask questions. The money is $40,000 a month, some of it clean, most of it not. The scope of the network expands. Diamonds are the bread and butter, but the real money is in the edges. You broker deals for luxury watches, Patek Philippe, Richard Mille, pieces that retail for $200,000 and sell for $150,000 because they're stolen or counterfeited so perfectly that only the manufacturer can tell. You move art, a small Degas sketch lifted from a private collection in Zurich, a Warhol print that was lost during transit. You move vintage automobiles, a 1967 Ferrari 275 GTB4, purchased at auction in Monterey and shipped to a private buyer in Macau, with the import documents artfully altered to show a sale price of $8,000 instead of $8 million. The smuggling is not the hard part. The hard part is the paperwork, the provenance, the chain of custody that has to look flawless if anyone comes asking. You are not a criminal in the legal sense. You are a logistic consultant who happens to specialize in the movement of very expensive things with very complicated histories. Marie still believes this. You almost still believe this yourself. Level 4. The collector's gatekeeper. The escalation happens naturally, almost imperceptibly. A client, a Saudi prince with a private museum and a fixation on ancient artifacts, asks if you can source something specific. A Mesopotamian cylinder seal, 3,000 years old, looted from a dig site in Iraq and currently sitting in a warehouse in Geneva. You find it. You deliver it. The commission is $80,000. The prince refers you to his cousin, who wants a collection of Roman glass that was last seen in a Beirut basement. You source that too. You are now in the antiquities trade, a market that exists in the shadowy overlap between legitimate collectors, museums with dubious acquisition policies, and the organized looting of every archaeological site in the Middle East and North Africa. You develop a specialty. You are the gatekeeper for a handful of ultra-wealthy clients who want things that cannot legally be bought or sold. You source endangered wildlife products for a Chinese pharmaceutical heir, rhino horn powder, tiger bone wine, a stuffed snow leopard that was killed in the Himalayas and smuggled through 4 borders before arriving at a private zoo in Guangdong. You source raptor eggs for a falconry enthusiast in Qatar, the eggs transported in portable incubators that maintain exactly 37.5 degrees Celsius, the hatchlings worth $200,000 each. You source human remains for a collector of anatomical curiosities. A 19th century skull with phrenological markings, a fetal skeleton in a glass jar, a shrunken head from the Amazon that you try not to look at directly. The money is staggering. Euro 200,000 a month, some month $500,000, but the psychological cost is beginning to compound. You dream about the skull. The skull has a name. You don't know the name, but the skull does, and it whispers it to you in the dark. Marie leaves you. She found a customs document in your briefcase. A manifest for a shipment of antique textiles that she recognized from her art history degree as a description of Coptic burial shrouds looted from Egyptian tombs. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just looked at you with an expression of absolute, irreparable disappointment and said, "I don't know who you are anymore." You didn't have an answer. You still don't. Level 5, the Kingpin. You are now the principal of a multinational smuggling enterprise that operates across 6 continents. Your network includes 30 permanent employees and a rotating roster of contractors. The ex-diplomat who can move anything through customs in a diplomatic pouch, the yacht captain who runs cargo between Monaco and North Africa, the conservator at a museum who authenticates your artwork, and sometimes tips you off about pieces that are not properly secured. Your annual revenue is 15 million euros. Your profit margin is 60%. You have a villa in Tuscany, a penthouse in Singapore, and an apartment in London that you use so rarely the dust has dust. The paranoia is now a permanent feature of your consciousness. You trust no one completely. Not your employees, not your clients, not the woman you've been seeing in Singapore who thinks you're an art dealer named Daniel. You have encrypted communications on 7 different devices. You have a safe room in the Tuscany villa, a reinforced concrete cube behind a false wine cellar, stocked with 6 months of supplies and a satellite phone and a weapon you've never fired but keep loaded. You have contingency plans for the arrest of every key person in your network, including yourself. You have a lawyer on retainer who specializes in extradition treaties and knows you only by a code name. You have not had a genuinely relaxed moment in 5 years. The bust when it comes is not dramatic. It's a Tuesday morning and you're having espresso on the terrace in Tuscany, and your phone buzzes with a message from a contact at Interpol. Your brother has been arrested at JFK, his luggage containing 18 rare parrots, sedated and stuffed into PVC tubes, their beaks taped shut. He's facing trafficking charges, conservation charges, conspiracy charges. He's facing 20 years. The interrogators are offering him a deal, and your brother, the only person you ever truly trusted, the person who knows every alias and every account and every skeleton in every closet, is sitting in a holding cell and thinking about it. You stare at the message, you stare at the hills of Tuscany, the vineyards and the cypress trees and the golden morning light. You finish your espresso, you start making calls. Some doors are closing, some doors are already closed. You have maybe 48 hours to decide, run or stay, or the third option, the one you've always known was waiting. The espresso cup is empty, the sun is warm. You have never felt colder.